everybody, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Matcha, where we talk about the bittersweet moments of the teenage experience. Just like matcha, both can often be messy and imperfect, but that's what makes them beautiful in the end. With that, thank you so much for tuning in, and today's episode I'm really excited because I have a really special guest here with me today. He's a senior who just graduated from my school, and I met him through volleyball season, I think in the summer, so that was pretty cool. And since then, I've just been talking to him about the college application process since he is going to UCLA in the fall. So when he told me that, or when I saw like his decision, I was like, I really need to talk to him and just like make sure that I'm prepared since I'm gonna be a sophomore. So yeah, let's welcome Pancho.
Hey everybody, my name is Pancho. Recently graduated high school. I'm attending UCLA in the fall to study environmental science and urban planning. I'm super excited to be here. I met Sophia, like she said, in volleyball. It's been super fun playing volleyball. It's like my biggest thing. I do club, play at school, and then also team manage. And then, yeah, I'm super excited to talk about college and everything and how it's a lot less stressful than people think it is.
Yeah, and then also usually I have the mic stands, but right before this, the mics kind of broke, and now both of us have to hold the mics. But it's okay, we're trying something out new, and I feel like it's like a cozy setup. Okay, let's get into the first question. So, how do you feel about graduating? And right now you're kind of in this like in-between moment where you're going into college and you just ended high school. So how do you feel about that?
No, yeah, for sure. Like physically right now, like in between high school and college, like summer is like right between. Right now I'm more thinking about college. I thought I would be more like holding back for high school and kind of thinking about that, but I think I'm just so excited for college that I'm just not as, sad about leaving. I'm definitely thinking about like all my memories, not only from high school, but just my childhood in general, because, I'm leaving the Bay and that's like the only home I've ever known. But I'm just super excited and it's like a positive time. It's not as bittersweet as I thought it would be, but it's like super sweet, yeah. What about you? How do you feel like, kind of going into your sophomore year, kind of like thinking about how you're going to set yourself up for college and everything?
I personally feel like I've been thinking too much about like the future, and especially right now because it's summer. Oh yeah, to preface this whole like episode, we wanted to talk about just like thinking ahead and how like people utilize their summers and also just like extracurriculars and all of that throughout the school year. But I feel like right now it's summer and I'm not even thinking about like summer. I'm thinking more about like my future classes. I'm taking like AP World History and a bunch of like honors, and I keep thinking about that and not actually like living in the moment. So do you ever feel like you are too stuck in the future and you don't think as much in the present moment?
Yeah, I think sometimes like not even just the future, but also the past. Like I just think about other things that are happening, like what could have happened or what should happen or what did happen, like instead of thinking about like what is happening right now. Like just in general, like kind of talking about college and everything, kind of like what if I had written this essay, or like what if I had done better in this class or something, like would that have been the difference? Like sometimes like thinking like that just makes the present moment worse. We just have to be acceptive of what's happening and what will happen, and not like try to think about what ifs, because I think just you don't appreciate what's happening right now as much.
Yeah, I definitely want to work on that because this is just something that I've always done. Like I've always had a habit of future tripping, and all my friends are like, it's good that you're thinking ahead, but at the same time you're not really giving yourself grace in the present moment, and then in turn like it seems like I'm not enjoying as much, even though like I am enjoying, but a lot of my friends just think that I think too much about what's yet to come and I don't like enjoy.
Yeah.
So, and then are there certain things or people that you're like trying to hold on to more now that you're going to college?
Yeah, for sure. I think, especially my friends, like a lot of my friends are moving kind of far. And even if like we come back for summer next year, it's like, I'm not going to be able to see them for a long time, I think my family, I am holding on to making sure like make memories and like, making sure like I appreciate them. But I already know they're going to be like home, like I'll come home and I'll see them. And my sister also goes to UCLA, so I kind of have like that home nearby. But I think that, just holding on to also like the life I have here, like the routine, like, everything, like even like simple things like the boba I drink or like the food I get, just holding on to like what life I have here. But also knowing that when I come back, it'll still be here. It's not going to go anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had any of those like small goodbye moments yet with the people you love?
I think so. Especially my teachers. I still have like the rest of the summer. So again, my family and my friends, I still have time to spend time with them. But my teachers, I already graduated, so having to say goodbye to them like on graduation day was definitely difficult. Because I have a lot of teachers that have really like changed my life. But I think it's like a good like goodbye. like they know that my next step will be good, and I'll use the lessons I've learned in their classes and everything moving forward. But definitely like towards the end of the summer when my friends start like leaving for college, that's gonna be difficult because I'm like starting new life, having new friends. But again, I'll know that they'll be here when I come back. So it's like
Yeah, and then was there like a specific moment when you realized that you wanted to like go to a good college, and or was there like anyone you looked up to who kind of like pushed you to like get into a good school?
no, yeah, for sure. My sister was definitely the biggest influence on me. I've always seen her as a role model. I've always like even like since preschool, I've always like copied what she does. Even volleyball, like the only reason I'm in volleyball is because she started playing volleyball when she was younger. So when she started, touring colleges and I went with her, and when she started telling me about like how she's like locking in and she's all these extracurriculars and things like that, it made me realize I had to like lock in. Like in middle school, I feel like I wasn't really locked in as much as I wanted to be. But in high school, like she told me like you need to do this if you want to be able to like achieve this goal. So yeah, definitely. And also like in the college app season, she also helped me a lot, making sure I stayed on track and making sure I like met deadlines. And like kind of connecting to you, like you being the older sister, like how do you feel like stepping in those shoes? Like do you want to be that same role model and like making sure like your siblings also have that same opportunity?
Yeah, so I have a younger sister who is 4 years younger than me. She's going to middle school. And I feel like even right now, I'm trying to, like, my parents want me to kind of, like, mentor her because she is, like, a bit more shy and I'm, like, more, like, extroverted. And they really want me to, not even just them, but also me, like, I really want to be that figure that I don't really have myself, being the oldest. Like, I feel like I have, like, friends who I can, like you, like, I can ask you anything about, like, college and stuff. But, I mean, I have a few family members I can, like, look up to with that. But, yeah, I just feel like I I want to be her mentor and I want to, like, help her, but at the same time, there's some times where I feel like, am I gonna like tell her the right thing? I don't even know if I'm doing the right thing, so I don't want to impose certain things on her that won't help me in the future and won't help her, you know?
No, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely glad I'm the younger sibling. I think it's like being the older is such a big responsibility, especially for your younger siblings who look up to you. I'm glad I have my sister as a role model because like being the older sibling is such big shoes to step in, and it's difficult because you kind of have to navigate the world first before your sibling and kind of show them how you did it. But I think you'll do good, being a role model for her. Yeah.
Thank you. And then once you knew that you wanted to like get into a good school, what did you do differently? Like, did you like take harder classes, join different clubs, or just like think ahead in general?
But yeah, for sure. Again, my sister, she made sure I took the like absolute hardest classes, all the APs I could. I maximized APs, honors and everything. And also she told me to do as many extracurriculars as I could, but not only just like do them, but also find passions. So I mean, it's one thing that you could like do any chess or do like service club or something like that. But it's also another to, be passionate about something and really get into it. So for me, my thing was volleyball. So instead of just doing like club or just doing school, I really went into it. Like I did coaching, I did managing, I did club, I did school, I did fundraisers, I did like everything I could for volleyball. And I think colleges really like when you're just really passionate about something, even if it's super simple, if it's not really academic or anything, but just show that you really are passionate about something, is really important. And then, yeah, just grades, making sure I stayed on top of everything. Low-key didn't really lock in for the SAT as I should, but I'm glad that most of the schools I applied to were test optional. And yeah, just making sure I stayed on top of things.
For me, I know like a lot of people say like you have to find your passion and things like that, but I feel like I have an idea of my passion. People can like think that they like have a passion, but when somebody asks you like what are you passionate about, I can't really narrow it down to like a few things. So I feel like in terms of college, it seems from an outside perspective, it seems so hard to kind of like create your own story and like cohesively tie everything in and making sure that everything you do like connects, you know?
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's kind of difficult because like I feel like again, like kind of going into college, I think it's kind of like my situation. I'm not really sure what I want to do. Like, I know I like architecture, I know I like urban planning, but at the same time, like, I also like law, I also like engineering. So, I mean, it's like difficult. Like, you're, 17, 18, like, trying to decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life is kind of crazy to ask a 17 and 18-year-old. And again, like, even like small things like passion, like, what are you passionate about? I don't know. It's like a lot to ask for someone so young. But yeah, like even like if you're interested in small things, like I know a friend who's like interested in sewing or like a friend who's interested in like selling clothes, like things like that, even if it seems so small and insignificant, like it can be like a really important part of your story.
Yeah. And then was there ever a time in high school where you felt like you were doing so much and instead of high school being fun and exciting, it felt more like pressure because of your aspirations?
I think so. I think I could have maybe had a little more fun. I definitely put academics first, like over everything, even social life. I definitely had volleyball and things like that as something I did outside of school, but I definitely prioritize academics. And I think reflecting now on like my 4 years of college, or not college, high school, I definitely could have made room more for enjoying and things like that. And high school seemed more like a challenge rather than like an experience. Like it's something I had to overcome, something I had to like achieve rather than something I just like could like live out and really enjoy. But I think especially my last semester as a senior or like my last two and even things like e-week like that really helped me appreciate the moments I have with friends and really enjoy high school, and then like in the future when I reflect, like I'll think of those moments. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of weird right now because a lot of my friends are like, oh, like Sophia, like you're always like locked in, and like, do you ever like give time for yourself? Like, although like it's good that you prioritize academic, when do you find time for yourself? When do you have those times of self care? And then that makes me scared for the future because it's like right now I'm literally what like 15. I'm going into sophomore year, and yet I already have a decent amount on my plate, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job so far about just like managing my time, and also like not only am I dedicating a lot of time to like my extracurriculars, I'm also like finding those places where I can like hang out with my friends and all of that. But sometimes like for me, and I know you probably felt this way too, like it does get overwhelming. It's been hard to like connect with people who are like-minded because I guess like there's not a lot of, well, there are a lot of people my age who are like thinking about like college and all of that, but that's why it's definitely been so helpful talking like the upperclassmen because you guys have like already been there and like you're further along in the journey than me, so that's definitely been helpful.
Kind of on that, like how do you think you like balance like your academic and like social life? Like what's something like you do that's like able to like step out of that like academic and like really relax and like enjoy the time you have?
Yeah, okay, here's the problem with me. So anytime I have something, I like make a list, but I literally can't sleep if I don't finish that list. So it's like I have to do it before I go to sleep because then like I feel like there's always something to do, even when I don't have anything to do. So like it's summer now, and summer's supposed to be fun. High schoolers are supposed to like like go out and like go to the beach, like all of that. But then for me, like I'll literally just like wake up, and there'll just be this sense that I have to do something, and I always put more work on myself, or I try to like get ahead in my work. But then in turn, that's like literally all I do is like just work, you know. So it's been hard to like find times for myself, but at the same time there are points where I'm just like at that like breaking point where it's like I need a break, like I need to like go out of my way to find somebody to, like hang out with or just like go on a walk, things like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's gonna be in the future, but as of right now, like I think I've done a pretty good job of finding those, or like allocating those times where I can like hang out with my friends and stuff.
No, definitely. I definitely agree. I think like now in like a summer, I feel like sometimes I like wake up or I'm like not doing anything and I just have like this weird feeling of like, am I supposed to be doing something? Like, did I like miss something? Or like the weird urge to like lock in. Like I have nothing to lock in for, like I have nothing to do, but I have like this weird sense of like I need to do something. Like it's like I just so wired into my system, like I have to like work or do something or do homework. That now it's like when I don't do it, I'm like, wait, did I forget something? Maybe it's like I need to do something to like feel like okay, like I feel like relaxed because I haven't like done anything yet.
Yeah. No, I feel like now I found joy in like being productive. So I literally like don't enjoy doom scrolling anymore. Like on TikTok or like Instagram reels, like I don't want to like spend 2 hours just like scrolling through TikTok and all that because it's been so ingrained in my mind that I have to always be doing something like you said. So I think what's another thing? Let me think. Sometimes like there are times where my friends like ask me to do something, and in that moment I have to think like, do I really want to like go out with them, or is there something that I really need to do that I need to prioritize? Because then if I don't and I go hang out with them, I'm not really giving them like my best self because I'm thinking about something else. So I feel like I really need to have like undivided attention to whatever I'm doing, which is why I always try to like do all my work before I go to sleep because I want to give my all to everything I do, whether it's like hanging out with my friends or whether it's like doing work, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So that's just like my whole like thought process behind it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like making sure like you're like fully 100% there, not thinking about something else is important, especially when you're hanging out with friends. I feel like sometimes that can be kind of annoying when someone else is not like really there. Like maybe they're like thinking about something else or like texting or something. I'm like, I mean, like choosing that's kind of hard, but it's good that you have like that like focus and that drive to like make sure you finish something before you go to the next thing. Yeah.
And then I also feel bad because like sometimes I'll like if I like am like dwelling on something and I'm around my friends, like I'll literally talk about it like all day, and they're like, Sophia, like just stop talking about it, like you're gonna be okay. But that's what I mean. Like I have to get my mind cleared before I hang out with them, or else I'm just gonna like keep talking about something that's like on my mind, which it's not a bad thing because I'm like very expressive, but at the same time like I want to give my undivided attention to them,
Yeah.
So, and then also let's go into like application season. How did you go into application season? Like how did you think it was versus how it actually really is?
Yeah. So again, going back to my sister, beginning like even like end of junior year, she already told me to start like working on my UCs. She started telling me in like summer she stayed over, she comes over to stay for summer after she ends her year. And she's just like, you have to do this. You have to make sure you finish your UCs and like stuff like that and like do it early so you're not stressed out. I went to like this writing camp or like this essay writing camp at school. And again, it's like really hard to like think of how like the worst part is definitely like the ideas phase, like when you're trying to push out ideas, like what do I write about, like who am I, like what am I going to write about. I think that's the hardest phase going into that. But then kind of like going into senior year, I didn't really have anything done. I started my first application probably 2 weeks before it was due. I didn't have anything before. Like I started the docs and like my UC apps and like ideas, but I never even wrote anything, and I ended up changing all the ideas from what they originally were. And all the other ones, the earliest one I started was 3 weeks before it was due, and one of the latest one I started was a week before it was due, which was the Columbia one. And I don't know, like people tell you to start early, but it's kind of hard. I feel like you have to give it time. Like it'll flow out, even though like people say early. Like just let it come out. Like it's eventually gonna to flow out of like your brain, and you don't have to worry about it so much. But definitely do have someone who like, or have like a planner to make sure you stay on track, because it is kind of stressful when you only have like 3 days left and you barely have anything done. And that's kind of what happened to me. So
yeah, what schools did you apply to?
So I applied EA to Yale, which was November 1st, and I submitted the app at 11:58 p.m. So 2 minutes or 1 minute before the deadline.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't get into Yale, so then I applied to NYU ED2. I also got rejected for that. And then the other schools I applied to was 5 UCs. Didn't get into Berkeley, and then I got into LA, Irvine, San Diego, and Davis, with regents from Davis and Irvine. And then I also applied to SDSU and Cal Poly SLO. I got into both. And then an Ivy, which was Columbia, which I got into. And I think I'm really glad I didn't get into NYU, because even though I applied EA to Yale, it wasn't restrictive. So if I got in, I wouldn't have to go. But if I did get into NYU, I would have to go. It's binding. So I'm really glad I didn't, because I kind of realized I don't know if I would want to go to NYU. I feel like I only applied because I was scared I wasn't going to get into the UCs. After I got rejected from Yale, I don't know, that kind of like scared me. And I was like, what if I don't get into LA or like Berkeley or anything? So I applied to NYU ED2, like just to try to get in, like try to get into like somewhat prestigious school. But I'm really glad I didn't, because I think I wouldn't have been as happy as UCLA. So I'm glad it all worked out. And again, like going back to the idea, like you'll end up where you're meant to be, I think it's like really true to my situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, how do you come up with the ideas for essays? Like that seems so hard, and it's like, right now I'm thinking, how am I gonna show colleges who I am through like 5 essays,
No, yeah, for sure. I think it's really hard to like condense your whole life and your entire experience to just a few essays. Like the Columbia apps, there were 5, and all of them were 150 words or less. So it's like very small, like maybe a paragraph. It's very difficult, but when I was talking to my sister, one big thing that she told me to definitely write about is being Argentinian. It's like a very unique thing to me. I don't really know a lot of Argentinians, and it's something kind of personal. And I think it kind of makes me stand out. So I definitely just went from just thinking about what it means to be Argentinian and then kind of going out from there. So kind of writing my essays, I thought about how Argentina is so strongly connected to soccer. Soccer is like a big thing. And I used to play soccer. I played for 7 years. I never really liked it. And it took me a while, but I kind of told my parents, like, I don't like soccer, but I really like volleyball. And that's what I wrote about my Common App essay, kind of like transitioning from being able to understand that being Argentinian isn't like you have to play soccer. That's like what you're meant to be. But it's like using the lessons from like being the passionate person that you are for soccer, like how Argentinians are so passionate about soccer, but then using that lesson to do something else. So I transitioned to volleyball, and I appreciate like my country and like my nationality for Argentina in the same way, just for a different sport. Like I watched the national team play volleyball in Argentina. Like that's something I can connect with and I actually like passionate about, instead of like forcing my way to soccer when I didn't even like it.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, how do you not, like, I guess, strip away your identity? Because sometimes, like, the college application process makes you, like, kind of makes you seem like you're reduced, like, just a stat, like a piece of paper. So.
Yeah, I think the essays are the way to do that. Interviews are also really good, but interviews are kind of rare these days. And I think the best way to do your essays is not base them on your extracurriculars, but on yourself, and then connect your extracurriculars to your identity. So for me, like talking about volleyball and transitioning from soccer was my way of like finding my identity. And then I talked about how I use the lessons like from like how soccer doesn't discriminate against someone's like racial profile or like their ethnic background or like how much money you have, and then talk about how I use that in like volleyball. I did like a fundraiser for volleyball and like for low income students, and they could play volleyball. It's the same thing. And then for other things, like I talk about like how I really like GeoGuessr, like it's something super niche. Like I don't know, I just really like geography and things like that. And then I connected it to how I did like internships and I want to do urban planning and things like that. So I think the best way to do it is just talk about who you are and then kind of connect that to your extracurriculars. And it's not as difficult as people think it is. But yeah, just talk about what you're passionate about and it's a lot easier to write about. Yeah.
Yeah. And then something that I've been thinking about recently is like with the rise of AI, I feel like essays are going to become less important because there's things like ChatGPT who could like literally write the whole essay for you. So how do you think essays, like do you still think essays are going to be like a big determining factor when I apply? Because
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're obviously still going to need essays. Like, the essays are still important. They're still going to keep going for, like, a long time. But I think they're going to start focusing a lot more on interviews. Interviews is, like, the best way of connecting, like, one-on-one with, like, humans. That's, like, something you can't use AI for. Like, you have to do it yourself. And I think it's actually the best way to get to know an applicant. You get to really know them, like, on a personal basis, obviously, and, like, see who they are. But I think like something on a piece of paper, someone could be really good at like writing, like be all this metaphorical and like all this like philosophical stuff. But when you talk to them, like they're like a robot, like that's not someone you want on their campus. Yeah. So I think that's the best way of connecting. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think the interview would be like a good thing for you, or would you like rather like do it through essays?
For me personally, I think the interview would be better because I think a lot of the time like I'm scared when I go into like interviews and things like that. But then like I'll do it. And then it would just be like a walk through the park. Like I'll be like, cause I guess I'm very like talkative, I guess. So sometimes things just like come to my head and I'll just like say it. And I guess, I don't know, like I feel like the essays would kind of be really, really stressful because like I said, like you have to sum up your whole like identity through like 5 pieces of writing, but then through the actual interviews, like people would actually get to see like who I am, how I talk, the way I talk. Like I think that's like a big factor. I'll also like getting into college because like you said, like colleges don't want somebody who's like mundane and like dry and like all that. But then if somebody's like bubbly and like actually like has a lot going for them, like I feel like you can see if somebody is passionate like through the way they talk, through the way like their eyes light up when they talk about things, things like that. So I think that could definitely help me maybe in the future. So yeah. And then if you could give one like your biggest piece of advice to people applying to colleges, what would it be?
I think kind of what I mentioned before is like knowing that wherever you go, you're meant to be there. I know even when I was in the college application season, like I didn't really believe it. Like I was like, I need to get to the best school possible, and like if I don't, then it's like I'm gonna be super disappointed. But I think it's really important. Obviously you still need to lock in, like you still need to do all the work. Like you're not gonna get to the college if you don't put the work in. But at the same time, just like being okay with where you go and being like happy. I think that's really important. And another big thing that I think is really important is more technically, it's using your essays and recycling them to other applications. So I think the UC application is the best one because I think the UC apps are very broad. Like the questions are very open-ended and like you can talk about pretty much anything. And they're due pretty early. So using the UC app and the UC essays for your other applications is a big plus. Once you have your UC app written, they're 400 words each, which is a pretty long essay for like a supplemental question. And then using those for the other ones makes it so much easier because a lot of the colleges ask the same question. So just being able to use your other essays, which you've written, which are yours, is really helpful because then it's not as much work and like you're able to like really get your point across without having to write and like stress out as much.
Yeah. So you would say start with the UCs.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna start early, even though like people say to start early, and I didn't really start early. If you're gonna start early, definitely do the UCs because the UCs are like the core essays that are like pretty basic. Like the questions are basic, but they're really important. And then some of the questions, like the Columbia app, it was like 150, so I just took the UC one and just completely condensed it and just made sure I had like the important parts. And then like I had the same thing, the same message. And it's so much easier because you don't have to write a whole new essay or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in terms of like the actual grades, like what did it take to maintain good grades? Like I know people are like, oh, like just get good grades, but it's like more than just getting good grades. Like you actually have to like put in a ton of work. So what did that look like on a day-to-day level?
Yeah, I think my biggest advice is for that is just making sure to go to A block. I think A block is the like best thing, just our office hours. Making sure to get help from like teachers and things like that. That's like the biggest helper is definitely gonna be the teacher. They know the most about the subject. Like for a certain class, like math classes, I think every single day I would go to at least like a 20-minute A block with them. Like even sometimes on Fridays I would go, which is kind of crazy. But I think that like getting help and like if I have a question, they're probably gonna be the best person to explain it. Even if there's like videos out there or like AI who can help you do it. And also just making sure like I have a planner. I have like a sticky note on my MacBook to like make sure I like know what to do that day and what to I have to do and complete. And yeah, just making sure I'm focused. Again, kind of connecting back to like how I balanced with my like social life. Making sure I like prioritize what I need to do, even if it means that maybe I can't go out that day or anything like that. But
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I literally go to office hours at my school every day, and all my friends are always like, "Oh, like if I don't have like any homework, I don't have questions. Like, why do I have to go?" But at the same time, for me, I just like connecting with my teachers, and I like to get to know them more than them just being my educator, and I feel like that helps a lot. Like I know like also because like letters of recommendation, like yeah.
for sure.
And it's not just about like letters of recommendation and all of that, but it's also just like sometimes when you know that your teacher is like there to help you and you actually like make the effort to talk to them, it kind of makes the class better because you can actually talk to the teacher and you feel comfortable of just like opening up. Like I know like a lot of people like ask for extensions and like all of that, and sometimes like teachers will say like no because you can't get an extension. But if a teacher, like if you talk to a teacher every day about like things that not only the things that you're doing inside of school but also like what you're doing outside of school, they also just like connect with you more. I don't know, so I feel like for me, like I'll do my homework at A block, but I'll also like talk to my teachers. So what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Kind of going back to what you said about like it's not just like for like recommendations or anything. I think when you put effort to like actually connect with your teachers, it always comes back to you. Like it's always kind of like karma. Like if you're nice and you're like respectful and you like put effort into the class, it'll come back to you. And a few classes like you said, like extensions and things like that. Like if you really want to put effort and you like come to A block and then you ask for an extension, they're the chances of you getting it are gonna be a lot higher because they know that you're trying, you know that you're like in there all the time. And also like one time like I really wanted to get like an A in the class, and on the final I got an A minus, so my grade was an A minus. But because I came to like A block all the time, you know, I always like tried my hardest. She raised my grade to an A, like she rounded my grade. So like just just things like that. Like even if you're not like asking for it, and like don't try to do it just because grade raised, but just do it because like the good that you put out will come back to you.
Yeah, just like don't do it for the recognition.
Right.
Like I didn't even know that we had like those like teacher recognition awards.
Yeah.
And then like I was like legit like just like being myself and like going to A block every day. But to my surprise, like I actually like got something out of it. Not to say that you guys have to do things just to get an award, but there's always good that comes out of it when you do good things. So don't like hesitate to like do good. Just do it. So yeah. And then was there ever a time where like you felt burnt out, and how did you like push through that and handle it?
I'm gonna be a little honest. It's gonna sound a little cocky, but I think high school for me wasn't too difficult. I mean, there were definitely moments where like I was stressed out or like had to like lock in or anything like for finals. But I don't know. I think there wasn't like a moment in time where I really was just like completely overwhelmed, like I couldn't do anything. I think there's certain classes, maybe like certain moments, like one thing I'm thinking of is AP Lit. Like there's a theme study, which is like a lot of like 21 pages, like it's like 3 books, really big paper. I think that was like a one thing that I'd like comes to mind. And that just again like figuring out how to like push through that is like going to A block, finding support, making sure that you can like push through it and like find a way out is important. And also making sure you spend time like doing other things. I think volleyball was a really good thing. Even if it took a lot of time out of my week, it was amazing because it helped me really disconnect from school. And even if I had like a test or anything, like I could just like for 2 hours just go to volleyball, completely not think about school at all. And that helped me reset and like make sure I think it helped me focus even more for what I had to do. And it kind of set me on like a routine that I could like homework, volleyball, sleep. Like it helped me stay on track and make sure I was on top of things. And so just like making sure you find support and also, do things that you like want to do and like disconnect from school.
Yeah, another thing that helps me is that a lot of people think that you will get burnt out when you have like a ton of extracurriculars, but at the same time, I feel like doing things outside of school helps me to not dwell on the fact that I have like a lot to do in school.
Yeah.
So like if I'll like ever get like a bad grade on a test, like or if I just don't like perform the way I want to perform, I have to move on because I have like 5 other tasks I have to do. Versus like if I were to like just be consumed in school and like be all just about my grades, then my mind would be more targeted towards school and like what I got. But then now like when you find things to do outside of school, that's like you said, it's kind of like your way to like disconnect. So even if like the work I'm doing is like stressful, I still don't have to think as much about like the grade I got. Like obviously I can reflect on like what I can do better, but I'm not gonna like be overly hard on myself because I have like other things to do and I can't waste my time thinking about something when I have other things to do. So
it also I think kind of connects to like the idea of like this whole podcast that we're talking about. It's like like kind of living in the past and like living in the future. Like what if I did better on this essay, or what if I did better in the class? I think being able to let go, like kind of what we were saying, is like really important because just like holding down that grudge just makes like the present even worse, and it might even like affect something else you do. So just being able to let that go is like a good thing to do.
yeah, and that's like definitely still something I'm working on. Like oh my gosh, I literally dwell on future trip so much, but I'm getting better.
No,
so,
for sure. And you still have a lot of time to like work on it. Yeah.
And then what was it like when you found out that you got off the waitlist at Columbia?
So actually, when I got the waitlist, so just like the regular Ivy Day, the waitlist offer said that if I do get off, it would be, the earliest would be May 15th and the latest would be June 15th. And on May 12th was when I got the email that there was like a status update, on my account. So I kind of went in thinking I was already rejected, like they were just sending me like an early rejection, I guess, for the waitlist. So I went in not expecting anything, kind of disappointed, but I was like, it's okay. Like, at least I got waitlisted. Like, I'm still pretty proud of that. So when I got in, it was a big surprise to have like this little video and everything. It was like super exciting. But the thing is, they only gave me a week. So I got accepted on Tuesday, and then I had to make my decision by Monday. So it was just like this like scramble to like talk to teachers and friends, and everyone was giving me like mixed feelings. Like some were like, oh, UCLA, you'll be happier. Oh, Columbia, you'll have like this connection. I mean, like networking and connections in New York and internships. So it was just this really stressful time. Thankfully, I got it extended like a week because we had like a financial meeting. So I had a little more time to decide. But I don't know, it was just a super stressful time. I think that was actually like the most stressful decision or not even decision, just like the most stressful time I had this year probably, or maybe not college app. But I don't know, it was just difficult, but I was super excited, and it was like watching like day in the lives in like Columbia, like, and things like that. I don't know, it just made me like super proud of myself, and like all the work I did was like worth it.
Yeah, how did you decide between UCLA and Columbia?
I decided to go to UCLA because I think I would be more happy there. I'd be happier because, I have my sister there who stayed there closer to home. So, if like there's like a 3-day weekend or like a 4-day weekend, I can just drive up because we're probably going to bring a car down there. Weather, I've lived in California my whole life. So I think I enjoy being able to like have sun all year round. I don't know how I would do in like cold weather. And also volleyball's a big thing. UCLA has a lot of opportunities for volleyball, not only indoor but beach. And I feel like at Columbia they don't even have a team; they only have club. So I think that was another decision. And the education is going to be the same. I think Columbia's 13th in the rankings and UCLA's 15th, so they're like right there. But yeah, I definitely had like after I'm in position, I definitely like have kind of some, I don't know, like lingering feeling that like what if, like again, like kind of the thing we're talking about. But now I'm like set. I'm like glad I made this choice, and I think it was also good that I made the choice and I like stuck with it. And now I'm like excited to go and not really think about Columbia and just like trying to focus on like being excited for UCLA.
Yeah, and that just goes back to the point of like letting go, because every moment always has a decision. Like everything you do, there's going to be a decision. Like, am I going to do this today? Am I going to do that? But it's just about like, how do I say it? Like not thinking about the what ifs and just like going into it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah. And then what are you looking forward to now that you're going into college?
Definitely looking forward to just starting a new like life, or not really new life, but like new routine. I've always lived in the Bay, pretty much like same routine, like same friends. Most of my middle school friends went to the same high school, and just like the same things like volleyball, school, like home, things like that. And now just moving to a new place, even if it's not too far. Um, like even like simple things like finding new places to eat, new boba places to try, and like different things. I'm excited to try new things. I'm excited to meet new people, start locking in. I'm actually kind of excited to lock in, and also just play volleyball and keep doing that. And yeah, just starting a new thing. What about you? Like, what are you excited about like going into your sophomore year now?
What am I excited about? That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that because I keep thinking about like the hard things. But a lot of people have said, like, have told me that sophomore year is the biggest social change like throughout high school. That's just what I've heard. And there's like the thing like sophomore slump, and people are like celebrating when they like get out of the sophomore slump. But I think in high school each year comes with like a little bit more freedom. Like I know like being a sophomore isn't the same thing as being a senior, but there still is a little bit more freedom. Like I'm not gonna be a freshman anymore. I'm gonna know like the way of the school better. I'm gonna know like just a lot more things about life and like academics in general. But I think I'm excited about, I'm definitely excited about volleyball. I've been starting like the open gyms over the summer, and I think the varsity team's gonna be pretty good. And I'm excited because we're playing like new schools in the area. Like we're playing schools in like the city and like the schools that we've like never played before. And we also have like a lot of tournaments. Like although like I'm a bit stressed because I'm taking like AP World and like other hard classes, I'm still excited just to also like spend the most time I can with my seniors who are gonna graduate. But yeah, that's what I'm excited about. What are you like nervous about though for college?
I think I mentioned this before. It's kind of a lot to ask like a 17-year-old to like pick what they want to do, like for life, like choosing a major, and asking that of like a 17-year-old is kind of crazy. I think I'm kind of nervous about making sure I pick like the major I want to do. Like I kind of like urban planning, but also like law and engineering. I want to make sure that I set myself up starting my freshman year so I could take like the GEs I need to take and things like that. And I choose the right major that I'm going to be excited to do. I'm also nervous just in general, just I think college is pretty hard. But I think I have a good support system. Again, I have my sister my freshman year, so I'll always have someone for at least 1 year. And yeah, and I also have a lot of friends who are going to UCLA, so I'll have at least some support just in case like, if anything happens.
Oh really? Were your friends like in school and like from other schools?
I think just in school. I have a few friends who are going, and I know I'll always have them, and like we can hang out and things like that. Which is nice to know that you at least have some friends going into it, and like you're not gonna go in blind.
How many people from your school are going from our school are going to UCLA?
I think in total it's like 9.
What?
A lot of people are going, and it's kind of nice because I think pretty much everyone's like doing their own thing. Like there's like a variety of like majors and things like that.
What dorm are you gonna do? Is it like the
So yeah, actually, right now I got UCLA has a really bad what's it called, housing crisis. There's no doubles. It's all triples. So there's absolutely no doubles.
really? Oh my
The only
gosh.
double is if you have like a medical condition. So it's only triples. So right now I have a triple with a shared bathroom with another triple. So it'd be 6 to a bathroom. So we're trying to get a different dorm. So we appealed to get the dorm that has 3 people to 1 bathroom. So it'd be a private bathroom, which I think would be better. But I'm still happy with the dorm I got. And I have 2 roommates. One is from Argentina, and one is from Spain. So I have 2 international roommates, and the Argentinian one is aerospace engineering, and then the Spain one is physics. So I think they'll definitely have me like locked in and like making sure I stay on track and yeah.
Wait, how'd you choose your roommates already? What?
Actually, a really stressful process. I kind of again, my sister was the one who texted me. She's like, lock in, like you have to do this. You can either like apply with roommates like as a group, or you can like just go random and just do like a survey where they like kind of like match you with people who have the same answers. But I decided to just text people. So there's like this UCLA 2029 page where you like post, and then I just scrolled and went through all the people who I thought were like interesting, and like I read their like bios and things like that. I just DM'd like 30 people, like what are you like interested in? Like what type of dorm do you want? Blah 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 blah. And I found these 2 roommates. I think I just wanted a room with an Argentinian person because I feel like I can connect culturally with them. I think it would be cool to have, and also speak Spanish because I don't want to go to UCLA and like lose my Spanish because I'm not talking. And yeah, it was stressful, but it's not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. My camera's about to die, so I think we should wrap this up. But
Yeah.
honestly, this conversation was so good. Like like going into this, I was kind of scared because I was like, are we gonna like be able to like talk about it a lot? But we actually did I'd say we did like a pretty good job of just like keeping the flow of everything. And it was really great talking to you, and I think that you offered like a lot of great advice to everybody. So thank you so much, and to everyone watching, do you have any pieces of advice to everybody watching?
Don't stress out too much. I mean, obviously, like it's gonna be stressful either way, but just know that you'll end up where you're meant to be, and yeah, and just use your resources and make sure, like I said, recycle your essays. I think that's like a really good piece of advice. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, and see you guys all in the next episode. Bye.